There are things that fall so naturally into pairs that it's hard to think of one without the other. In modern times, for instance, there are mods and rockers. And whether you like it or not, cigarettes and lung cancer. And going further back, one thinks of Body and Soul, Ham and Eggs, Gilbert and Sullivan, and of something even more typically British, if that's possible, fish and chips. Churchill called them the good companions. They're more than a meal. They're part of a way of life, a social bond, a symbol. An ingredient particularly of Saturday night, though any night can start or end in the bright, sizzling friendliness with the friar's shop. This meal is such a British institution, it's a bit surprising to learn that until about 80 years ago, nobody in this country had heard of fish and chips. For the good reason that apart from a few wealthy travellers, nobody had heard of chips. Boiled, baked, roast potatoes, yes, but not chips. These had to come first from France. And this is the place in Dundee where they were first offered to delighted British customers. There was an open space then where buses now wait, and behind it, where the Caird Hall now stands, was the old Green Market. And there, in 1874, a Belgian named Edward de Garnier and his French wife opened a stall selling old friends, boiled peas, and a strange new dish, French chips. Now, Mr. de Garnier, that's how you pronounce the name now, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. That's how you pronounce it.
You served in your grandfather's shop, didn't you?
No, I didn't serve in the shop.
Oh.
It wasn't a shop, it was just a stall.
What kind of a stall?
Well, there was 4 partitions, and it opened at one side, and a big tarpaulin on the top, and a little counter, and a big brazier, and 2 big pots on it, full of fat. And you put another pot inside here with the chips. Another side there, you had the peas.
The peas were done in fat too, were they?
No. They were done in the water.
Yeah.
And you had the peas and the chips, which made the buster.
The buster?
And that was the buster.
What did you charge for it?
There were a halfpenny and a penny and tuppence.
For a mixture of peas and
yes.
What much did you get for a halfpenny?
Oh, you got a good saucer. It was in a saucer.
I
got a saucer full.
So they didn't take it home the way they take
No, they didn't take it home. They went inside, sat on the bench and ate it there, maybe have another one. That's the way it went, 1 or 2 or 3.
Now, what was your job if you didn't serve?
Well, I used to go a Friday night to wait the gasworks and get the coke on the barry and bring it right back to the Green Market. And then we used to clean the potatoes on a big tub and a broom.
But you peeled them, though, did you?
No, you didn't peel them. You just put them in there and you washed them white. They were white.
And then how did you chip them?
Well, they had a machine, and you just put it in, and you draw this lever right down, and that cut it up the chips, the old-fashioned hand lever, and it fell into an enamel pail. Oh, and you had to do this maybe, for hours and hours.
But it was a new thing, you know. How quickly did it take on?
Oh, it took on very well. Must have done very well when they come far and near.
Now, did middle-class people use the shop, patronize the shop at all?
Oh, well, way back in these times, there was only one class, and that was a very poor class.
Where and when did these good companions come together? What genius arranged such a happy and satisfying marriage? Nobody knows. 100 years ago, on Saturday nights in London, there would be at least 300 street traders selling lumps of fried fish. And there were street barrows selling baked potatoes, fish and potatoes, so near and yet so far. But when the custom for French chips spread, as it did very rapidly, very good, surely it wouldn't be long before chip makers or fish fryers realized that they could cook both things at the same time in the same dish. There's some evidence to suggest that it was in Lancashire, where such a high proportion of the wives worked in the mills, and children too, that fish and chips were first offered as a composite meal. And then, as I've said already, they became a British institution. But like everything else, fish and chips have changed with the times. Once, they were always served or wrapped for taking home in old newspapers, and there are old customers still who maintain that printer's ink added an absolutely inimitable and subtle flavor to the dish. Nowadays, you get it on a plate. Nowadays, you're denied very often the satisfying movement of slopping on tomato ketchup. You take it delicately and more economically, of course, from a plastic dish. Nowadays, you don't wrap it in your favorite newspaper and take it home all fragrant for the benefit of neighbors. No, you take it home in a papier-mâché plate, and they've gone even further in the sophistication of this rugged, old, simple, austere dish. You don't use the finest tool invented. No, you use this, you see, and you stab it so. Very nice, and it keeps the fingers clean. And they've gone even further, so far that it hasn't reached Dundee yet. Nowadays, you don't take it home even in this, let alone newspaper. You take it home in a carrier bag. But they're still very good.